Hi, everybody. Today we're going to do BB.10, which is solve a quadratic equation by completing the square. This is Algebra 1, IXL, and let's get started. I didn't preview it, but I assume they're going to give me a nice equation that's already set up for me. So we've got an h squared. Oops. We have an h squared plus 28h. That's missing its constant term, and it's equal to negative 17. We want to complete the square. If you haven't done the complete the square, remember that what we're really looking for is we want to have h plus something squared is going to be on this side, and it's going to be equal to a number. Well, we know that this has to be 14 because this middle term is 14h plus 14h. So 14 squared is 196. So that's what I have to add to both sides. And when I add 196, I get 169, I believe. No, that's not right. Is it? No, it isn't. Thinking that it's going to work out nice. 17, if I add 17, it's 80. 179? That's weird. I think I got a problem here. Let's see. It is negative 17, right? Okay. And if I take off 17, I get 179, which, that's odd. I think they may have made a mistake. It's just rounded to the nearest hundredth. Maybe I am supposed to actually solve this using, I was thinking that it was going to work out evenly, but I guess it's not. It sure looked like it was going to be 169, so I could get 13, and negative and positive 13. It looks like it's not going to work out. Sorry, guys, I just wasn't sure if that's correct. It looks like it is. So I'm going to take the square root of both sides. And I do have to round to the nearest hundredth, so I am going to have to use a calculator for it. And I'll leave the squared first. Oh, well, I'm taking the square root. So we take the square root of both sides. It's going to be about 13.5. Let's take the square root of 179, which is 13.38. And when I subtract 14 from both sides, I will get two answers. I'll get h is equal to approximately 13.38 minus 14, which is going to be negative 0.62. And if I subtract that one, I get negative 27.38. So we have negative 0.0. I think I have to put in the 0. Or approximately negative 27.38. That looks right. Okay, looks like they're going to make me work for it. Now it's an easy one. So we've got, I'll write it down here, m squared minus 8m. And the first step is to add the 7 to both sides. So I'm adding 7 to both sides. And now I'm going to complete the square. So what do I need to add to make it m minus, and we know that it's got to be 4 so that I get a minus 8m in the middle, squared. And for this to happen, this had to have had plus 16 here. And 7 plus 16 is 23. So we have to take the square root of both sides. And I get m minus 4 is approximately the square root of 23, which is going to be about 3.8. sorry, 4.8. It's actually 4.80 if I round it. And we're going to add, it's plus or minus. Sorry, guys, I keep messing this up. I may have to start over again. Add 4 to both sides, and we end up with m is approximately, looks like we're going to have 8.80. And the other answer is going to be approximately negative 0.80. So okay, I'm gonna explain this one a little bit better. All right, so we have, in this case, j squared minus 28j, this is very similar to our other one, is equal to 39. And I want to make this work. And so we kind of go forward to go back. And in order for this to be a perfect square, I know I need a minus 14, because then I'll get a minus 28j in the middle. Negative 14 squared is positive 196, and I have to add 196 to both sides. And when I do that, I'm going to get 235, I believe. Yeah, 235. And when I take the square root, I can estimate it. And 235 is between 221. No, it's between 20 and 21. So I'm just going to guess 20.5, more or less. So j minus 14 should be equal to plus or minus square root of 235, which is about 15.33. And that's bad. I was thinking of 441 instead of 241. Anyway, there it is. I'm going to add 14 to both sides. And j is going to be approximately equal to 29.33. That's when I add those. And when I add the negative, I get negative 1.33. So there's my approximations. And negative 1. So we are going to get, I'm going to add the 11 to both sides. That's our first step for completing the square. So we get p squared minus 20p is equal to 11. In order to complete the square, I need to complete that perfect square. I get the 10 by dividing the middle term by 2. I have to add 100 to both sides. And this time I'm going to estimate correctly. 111 is between 10 and 11, and it's almost exactly in the middle. So it's really close to 10.5. When I take my square root of both sides, I'm going to get approximately 10.5. Notice I wrote the approximate there. Square root of 111 is 10.54 approximately. And we're going to add 10 to both sides, but remember it's a plus or minus. And so P is approximately, looks like 20.54 and a negative 0.54. There they are. These take a little while. All right, so we have k squared plus 24k. Don't think I will do this one again. Is equal to 43. And I'm looking at k plus 12, aren't I? Squared. So in order for this to happen, I need a 144 right there. And that is 187. And I'm going to take the square root of both sides. And remember, I want a positive or negative square root. And the square root of 187 is between 169 and 196. So it's between 12 and 13, approximately 12.5. I'll get the approximate better with my calculator. $13, not 12, 13.67, sorry. I cannot estimate today. I'm going to subtract 12 from both sides. And my K is going to be approximately negative 25.67 for one of my answers. My other answer is going to be 13.67 minus 12, which is approximately 1.67, isn't it? Hopefully I won't make any errors other than my silly estimates that I keep on messing up. Oh, now this one's an interesting one. In this particular case, the first step to factoring is to always look for a common factor. Now, I don't have to take the 4 out, but it is going to make my life infinitely easier to divide everything by 4. When I divide everything by 4, I mean I'm dividing both sides by 4. And 0 divided by 4 is 0. So I have f squared plus 8f minus 11 is equal to 0. Now, I happen to know that these are not going to work out evenly because that's non-factorable. The only way to factor 11 is 1 times 11. And so that has a difference of 10, not 8. So this is going to be a decimal. We're going to add the 11 to both sides to do the completing the square. And that's going to be f squared plus 8f plus some value is equal to 11. And of course, we're going to add the same thing to both sides. We are looking to get f plus 4 squared so that I get an 8f as my middle term. So I need a 16 and a 16, and it's going to be 27. So I'm going to take the square root of both sides. Don't forget the plus or minus. It's going to be approximately 5.1, 5.2 right in there. So f plus 4 is approximately 5.2 plus or minus 5.2. And we're going to subtract the 4 from both sides. So we end up with, let's just type them in directly. We've got negative 9.2. Oh, I have to put in the 0, don't I? Yeah. And I have 1.20. Okay. This time we're going to add 81 to both sides. You want to leave that little space in there so that you can add the 81. Hopefully you can recognize that I did h plus 9. Don't forget to add the 81 to the other side too, okay? So that's going to be 116. And of course it doesn't work out evenly. So we have to take the square root, put the plus or minus, and it is just below 11. So it's going to be closer to 11 than it is to 10. So probably about 10.8 or so. So h plus 9 is approximately, I'm going to guess 10.8. 10.77. And we're going to subtract the 9 from both sides. So we're going to have negative 19.77 or approximately 1.77. And that's it. This time, I'm going to divide everything by 2 first. Actually, I'm going to divide everything by negative 2. You really want to make your life easier, right? So I'm going to divide everything by negative 2. I'm going to get t squared plus 26t is equal to 6. And of course, we're looking at t plus 13, and we're squaring it. And that means that I needed a 169 here, which meant that I was actually at 175. And we're going to take the square root and put the plus or minus, and t plus 13 is approximately equal to 13 point maybe 3. I'm going to guess 13.3. My square root just isn't coming. There it is. 13.23. And we're going to subtract 13 from both sides. And we are going to get t is approximately 0.23. Oh, wrong place. Or negative 26.23. Looks good. Oh no, what did I do? What? Did I forget something? Oh my God, I didn't divide by -2 on both sides. I am such a tard. Okay, guys, what I did was I divided by -2, and I divided by -2, but I forgot to divide the other side by -2. Dumb errors, cost you. So there you have it. I may be doing this one again after all. So we have an r squared. No, I'm just going to leave it. If I'm that dumb, I deserve to get it wrong. 26r is equal to -9. I'm going to subtract the 9 from both sides. I need 169 to make my perfect square because I'm talking about r plus 13 squared. And I am going to add 169 to both sides, which gives me 160. And I'm going to take the square root. And r plus 13 is approximately 160 is between 12 and 13, closer to 13. I would say maybe 12.7. Let's take a look. E 12.65. Remember, we're talking about a plus or a minus, so we have to subtract the 13 from both sides, and r is approximately equal to, looks like -25.65. And we also get a negative 0.35, huh? Yep, that looks right. And is it a negative 0.35? That looks good. Okay. This time I'm going to divide everything by -2. It's funny how the AI, the artificial intelligence for this, knows to put the -2 in there because I messed it up before. So I'm dividing everything by -2. So I'm going to have the d squared plus 16d minus 39. I'm dividing all of these things by -2. By the way, I'm also dividing the 0 by -2. It's just that it just happens to be 0. I'm going to add the 39 to both sides. I decided to do this in 2 steps so I didn't mess it up. So I've got d squared plus 16d is equal to 39. And just double checking my work. I'm going to, I want to get d plus 8 squared, so I'm going to have to add the 64 to both sides, which is going to give me the 103, isn't it? And we're going to take the square root and put the plus or minus on it. And it looks like we're going to get d plus 8 is approximately equal to 10.15. Yep. Plus or minus 10.15. And I'm going to subtract 8. So I get 2.15 or negative 18.15. And that looks right. Okay, we are going to add our 225 to both sides. So we have z squared plus 30z equals negative 1. We are squaring z plus 15, which meant that we needed the 225 here, which gave us 224 for our square root that we're going to have to take. Really close to 15, isn't it? So z plus 15, God, that's ugly. Let me fix it. Z plus 15 is going to be approximately equal to plus or minus the square root of 224, which is about 14.9. 14.97. So yeah. Really close to 15. We're going to subtract the 15 from both sides, and we get negative 29.97. Yep. And the other side is going to be the negative 0.03. No, positive 0.03. Almost exactly 0, isn't it? And, oh wait, is it being subtracted? It's negative. Oops, almost messed it up. I can't see it over there. That's blocking my view. Negative 0.03. There it is. Yeah, because we are subtracting 15. Yep, going to be negative in both cases. There it is. Almost messed that one up too. All right, we're going to divide everything by negative 3. How do I know that 3 goes into 84? Because 8 plus 4 is 12. You add the digits and it'll tell you whether 3 divides evenly. Because I get 12, 3 goes into 84, but 9 does not. And the same thing for 7 and 5 adds up to 12. So we're dividing by negative 3. And we get y squared minus negative 3 goes into 84. Looks like it goes in negative 28 times. And that's going to be equal to positive 25. I'm just going to double check my work real quick. 3 goes into 84, 28 times. That is correct. And it looks like my signs are correct. So I just need to take y minus 14 squared. In order for that negative 14 to be there, I needed a 196, which is 221. When I add those together, and of course it's between, looks like we're close to 15. It's between 14 and 15, probably 14.8. Square root, plus or minus 14.87. And we are adding 14 to both sides to get our y by itself. And it looks like we're looking at 28.87. And for the negative part, we get negative 0.87. Oh, dang it. Double check my answer real quick here. 28.87 and negative 0.87. Yep. It's taken forever. All right. I think I'm gonna shortcut it a little bit. I'm just gonna go to the p plus 13 squared. I know that's what's coming. I'm adding the 3 to both sides. And I'll just write it up here. P squared plus 26p equals 3. And in order to get the 13, we need the 169. And that is 172. And we're going to take the square root of both sides. So p plus 13, don't forget the plus or minus, and it's only approximately equal to a little tiny bit bigger than 13. It's going to be about 13.1. 13.11. And we're going to subtract 13. And we get P is approximately negative 26.11. And for the negative 13, we're going to get 0.11. There it is. Looks like everything else is good. I think it's good. In this one, we're going to divide everything by negative 2. They're trying to trick me again. So we're dividing by negative 2, negative 2, and negative 2. And I'm going to do a couple things. I'm going to divide by negative 2 and get g squared. I'm going to divide by negative 2 and get negative 28g. And I'm going to divide by negative 2 and add 15 to both sides. And that gives me my g minus 14 squared. And that means I needed to add 196, which gives me 211. And when we take the square root, the plus or minus, we get 14.53. And there's that plus there. I'm going to add 14 to that. And we are going to get G is approximately 28.53 or negative 0.53. And we get two possible solutions there. I don't see any errors. I'm just going to double check real quick. Looks good to me. Yeah, that looks good. So 28.53 or negative 0.53. Looks good. And in this one, we're going to add the 5 to both sides. It looks like they're doing the same thing over and over again. I don't think I'm going to go any further. Just going to take too long. Q squared plus 22Q is equal to 5. And I need Q plus 11 squared. And I'm going to add 121 to both sides. And that's going to be 126. And we're going to take our square root and put our plus or minus, and it's going to be between 11 and 12, so about 11.3. 11.22, sorry. And we have Q plus 11. We're going to subtract 11. And I think this will probably do it for you. If you need any more, I'll certainly do more of them, but I can't imagine. That's going to be negative 20. Put it up here. 22.22. And we've got a 0.22. And I believe that is correct. All right, guys, that's enough. I'm tired anyway, and it's already 30 minutes. So if you want to go to mastery, it's more power to you. I'm feeling like I'm done for the day. So I will see you back again, and I will maybe do my mastery medal another time. Bye, guys. Have a nice day.